We are live from AutoClub Speedway here on JCTV with the stars of the In the Pits News Truck Series. I'm Josh Copper, and I'm joined in the booth with me by Adam Kuhn. How you doing, Adam?
Doing good. Excited to be back here at AutoClub Speedway, and excited for another race here tonight on JCTV, of course.
This should be absolutely another great race, Adam. Last time around here at Auto Club, we saw great battle between Caldwell and Chicano. Those two are always putting on exciting shows week in and week out. The race here last season was no different. We saw Caldwell spin out, still win the race, even collecting a little bit of damage on his spin. So anything can happen. We've seen before in the past, and I expect nothing different tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We shouldn't expect anything different, because now we got a whole bunch of more contenders in this fight who are going to mix it up with both those two drivers you mentioned, Cameron Caldwell and Alonso Chicano. We got the point leader, Alexander Kurfan, out here also tonight. He's looking forward to a exciting race as well, of course. So tons of drivers here tonight who know they can throw their hat in the ring here.
You know, speaking of Alexander Kurfan, he won last week's race, and he also won the stage at Daytona. He's been on a hot streak here lately. Let's go ahead and bring him on into the booth. Hey, Alex, it's Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? You've been riding on a hot streak here lately. Well, only 2 races in, let's say. Winning a stage at Daytona, winning the race last week in Charlotte, coming in here to Auto Club. What's it like for that 30 camp?
Hey, if you count the season finale from last year, still on a hot streak. But yeah, looking forward to this race. It's a very nice track. Love racing this track in the trucks. It's going to be really important to stay in the draft. These trucks are pretty flat out all the way around, just a little bit of off throttle time and you're right back on the throttle in the corner. Towards the start of the run, the low side's going to definitely be the best place to make some passes done, but maybe towards the end of a tire run, we might see everyone starting to migrate towards the top to try to get that momentum going.
Definitely will be exciting to see what happens tonight. Is this going to be, a race like what we see at Daytona with drafting, or what are you expecting tonight?
It's not going to be exactly like Daytona. It's still going to come down to if you can get your car to stick down low at the beginning of a run and get your car to stick up top at the end of a run. Staying in the draft, though, is still going to be mighty important at a track as long as this, 2 miles, I believe. Yeah, we're going to be hauling around this track.
All right, we'll let you get back there with your teammates, and maybe we'll talk to you later on in the race.
Yep, hope to see you in victory lane.
And that was Alexander Kurfan, driver of the 30. What are you expecting out of this tonight, Adam?
I think we're going to have a very competitive race, like I mentioned right off the top, and kind of what Kurfan alluded to there. We're going to have a lot of contenders, I think, and like he mentioned, flat out for the very beginning, but it's going to get spread out a little bit as the runs go. But I think we're going to see very tight racing to start off the runs, kind of like what we saw last weekend at Charlotte. But it's going to be a lot faster here tonight, I believe, at Auto Club with a little bit longer racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. This race should be a great one. 2 miles long, 14 degrees banking here. I expect an absolutely great race out of these guys, and I'm excited.
Yeah, we mentioned how strong Kurfan's been recently, and not only just recently, but in this race last season, race number 2 it was, he finished 4th place behind his teammates. So pretty strong outing for him even at this racetrack last season. Let's see if he can improve himself tonight, riding that momentum into this race.
See there, Cameron Caldwell in a different scheme tonight. He is really good at these 2-mile tracks. As I mentioned right at the beginning of the broadcast, he won AutoClub last season and backed that up with a win at Michigan as well. And last night, he won again at AutoClub, though it was in the next gen or the current gen Cup cars. Still a win at AutoClub. He knows how to get it done at the 2-mile tracks, and Caldwell, he is going to be a big factor into tonight's race.
Well, you mentioned that race, you bring that up. His biggest competition, unsurprisingly, Alonso Chicano. Man dominated that race last night. Unfortunately got involved in a few incidents at the end and came away with only a 6th place run, I believe it was. That's all he could muster at the end after a few cautions, but he was the star of the show up until the end, and Cam kind of came out of nowhere. And Alonso alluded to it in his interview during the race that Cam wasn't playing all of his cards yet, and sure enough, there he was at the end, right when it mattered.
Yeah, and that race that we saw, it was very crazy between the two. Just very competitive. Those guys, they're friends, they're teammates, but they're rivals. And I don't expect anything different between the 12 and the 25 tonight. They'll be racing each other pretty hard and doing so cleanly as well, putting on a great show for us and you guys at home.
Currently, they're not at the top of the board like we're used to right now, Josh. We got some fresh faces up there.
Yeah, Davey Hendricks, new name to the In the Pits News Truck Series. Brian Haynes, he's not made a start this season yet, but he is the entitlement sponsor for tonight. He's actually tied with Davey Hendricks for the top spot, as well as our Daytona winner, Michael Krueger, in the 42. Those three all tied to the 1,000th. And as I say that, Joseph Lester goes on top of the board with a 41.32 and tied with Davey Hendricks. And now you see the difference, 1,000th of a second out of Haynes and Krueger. And Knoll as well in the top 5. Bennett Probst within 7 1,000ths. This is close. These times are so close. These drivers, they're going to be... It's not going to be a spread out race by any means in the beginning. It may get spread out. See who can hold their tires a little bit more. It's going to be about tires, I think, is biggest worry tonight is who can save their tires, who can be there at the end. Adam, we're only guaranteed one caution, and that is that, lap 25 for that stage.
Yeah, we saw that play a huge factor last weekend at Charlotte. Caution early, got that right out of the way, and then pretty much a green race rest of the going. A few minor hiccups throughout it, and it kind of played into the end of the race, kind of almost becoming a strategy go at the end. We saw Krueger came into victory lane because of a strategy play pretty much. He was a fast truck all night long. He was running 3rd, I believe it was, but the difference of his timing on pit road mattered the most with tire wear at Charlotte, and that's going to be very crucial tonight with this worn-out track, 20-year-old surface here, California.
And the older surfaces, as you said, love to chew up tires. It's going to be super interesting. Once again, see who can save their tires. Who will have something for the end, or who knows, maybe we even get a green-white checker. We'll see if somebody has enough tires left in the pits. These drivers have 4 sets total in the pits. 5 in all, the set you start with. And who's gonna put, pull the right strategy under cautions to, do you come in every time to get tires? Do you think that there's not gonna be enough cautions to where you can come in every single time to get tires?
They only sold many limited tires in the pits, as you mentioned, so it might come down to that at the end of the race. Could be very interesting, like you said, so we'll see that these guys kind of separating themselves just a little bit more on the speed charts, and I say that a little bit sarcastically, 0.05 of a second between Jason Gracias now at the top of the charts.
And Jason Gracias, I believe, I could be wrong here, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is Jason Gracias' first race of the season as well. But every race he was in last season, he was a strong contender for the win every single time. And I wouldn't expect anything different out of him tonight.
Indeed, this is his first start of the 2022 season, so very good to see him back in there. Like you mentioned, quite a number of races last season, not as many as most of the field, but when he showed up and he was in the top 10. 4th place at Daytona, and he won Richmond, and 2nd place in the season finale, so very strong results there. Just some of his races last season. You see very iconic helmet design that we saw last season at Talladega, I believe it was. Kind of made it very humorous in the crash, unfortunately.
He definitely is focused underneath that meme of a helmet, but he's looking to get it done. Sitting top of the charts right now. Just under 2 minutes left in practice.
Very curious to see if these times are going to stay this close in qualifying here. That's going to come up here in a couple minutes.
I think, excuse me, apologies for that, but I think qualifying is going to be even closer in the times because you don't have the draft to rely on in front of you. That is all single truck speed. And I think that these drivers, they're not going to have this from 1st to 20th, 0.27 of a gap you see there. I think it's going to be just so close between every single driver. So far, 28 that have laid down a practice time tonight. Well, Adam, we're at that 1 minute mark. Who is your pick to win?
I'm going to go with someone with very few starts in the series, but very recognized name. I'm going to go with the number 15, Carl Felver. Just 2 races last season, but he picked up a runner-up in his debut at Watkins Glen. So he's got tons of potential here tonight if he can get through the race. And it's his first race of the season, another one of those drivers. And is making up a strong lineup. Let's see what he can do tonight, of course.
Oh, so I'm going to go with a driver that I think some may call a dark horse. I call him Great Racer. This is the MartinPC.com 200. You can have the entitlement sponsor in a race and not pick the guy that's actually, owns the sponsor. Brian Haynes, he's going to be your winner tonight. Checkered flag is out on practice. And they're rolling into the JCTV qualifying. So far, we've had 2 different pole winners. And it looks like first one out on the track is going to be the driver of the number 25, Alonzo Chicano. See driver of the number 25 Grid Network truck winding it up. He's running in that 4th lane. trying to use as much of the track as he possibly can to get that truck ready. Take his lap. Off turn 4, Alonso Chicano going to be first to the line. Him and Probst were really close. You guys can't see Probst because of the way that qualifying is set up. Zach Probst. Loose off of 2. And that is going to hurt Probst's second lap. So his first lap will have to do for Zach Probst, which was a 41.7. Go back to the 25. Alonso Chicano off turn 4. Looking to improve using that apron at the line. He goes to the top with 41.44. Cameron Caldwell. He is on his first lap.
Chicano's lap's going to stand over Davey Hendricks, who goes just 100th slower. He was fastest before Chicano set his second lap. So he's beat the 46 right now.
And Joseph Lester as well, P3 with the exact same time as Davey Hendricks. Cameron Caldwell, P8 so far. 2/10 off of Alonso Chicano. I think the second lap is where it's going to matter here.
Dalton Kelly top of the charts.
Cameron Caldwell using that apron as well. It's going to put Cameron Caldwell top of the board, 41.40. Carl Felver finishing up. P18. Jason Gracias goes to the top of the charts. Here we got Krueger, Daytona winner, finishing his lap. P11 for Michael Krueger. Carl Felver, P2. 300ths off of Jason Gracias. Just 3 seconds left. I don't think it's going to be enough for Eddie Morris to finish his lap. It's not. So, full winner is Jason Gracias. Carl Felver starting second. Cameron Caldwell will start third. Dalton Kelly, P4. Alonso Chicano, P5.
Davey Hendricks is going to line up 6th. Joseph Lester 7th. Brett Bennett, Brian Haynes, and Jeremy Richmond round out the top 10 positions tonight.
11th is going to be Noah Mayuri, driver to watch out for sure. Michael Krueger, P12. Dakota Knoll, 13th. Justin Duran, P14. And Eddie Morris will start 15th. I'm sorry, Morris will start 15th.
Austin Story is going to line up 16th tonight. 17th is Alexander Kerfin, the point leader, starting way out back there. Zach Probst starts 18th. Wesley Rose starts 18th in his number 80. Excuse me, 19th. And Dan Yusupowski starts 20th.
Starting 21st, going to be Jacob Locklear. 22nd, Leo Bonacasa. 23rd, William Martin. 24th, it's going to be Brian Smith. And 25th, Andrew Elias.
26th is Kayla McCurry. 27th, Dawson Allen. 28th is Tyler Watermolen. And rounding out the field tonight is Anthony Mausher. Largest field in the series history tonight, Josh.
29 drivers. And Adam, if I recall, last season this race had 2 cautions. We did not have any cautions for stages last season. We are guaranteed that 1 caution for a stage, but as you mentioned, largest field this season, 29 drivers. Be very interesting to see how this plays out. You see the trucks roll off pit road, start to get up to pace car speed before hitting the loud pedal to go green. This is the MartinPC.com 200. Martin PC, they do a lot more than computers. They do push talk buttons. Recently, developed an app for like a digital dash that you could put on your tablets. And they are working with a company to have a tablet included for a little bit more than price. We'll get to that a little bit later here as Pace Truck is in safety of pit road. Jason Gracias is going to lead them to the green. Green flag is waving. This race is going a great start out of 15. Carl Felver on that outside. He was ready for that. Still side by side with the one, Jason Gracias. Meanwhile, Caldwell goes all the way down to the apron. They're going to be 3 wide. Caldwell sideways.
Huge moment for him, but he gathers it up on the apron. Jason Gracias clear for the lead for his second career pole, but here comes Dalton Kelly fighting on the inside. He's going to be door-to-door with Carl Felver into turn 3 and dive to the lead.
Great job from Dalton Kelly with that huge run. Sees underneath Jason Gracias. He actually clears Gracias. New leader Dalton Kelly is going to lead the first lap. Jason Gracias is now pulled to the right side of the 45. Dalton Kelly now side by side going into 1.
More action in the back of the pack. Someone almost lost off.
Caution is out.
Gathered it up, and now caution is out, Josh.
Let's take a look and see what happened.
Looks like that truck that got loose up before was the 80 of Wesley Rose and was a victim going down the front straightaway of another incident.
That was Caldwell involved as well.
Kayla McCurry in the 29 with his right side all beat in. And looks like Dawson Allen spun off into the infield entering turn 1.
Take a look here from Caldwell's helmet cam. He just got squeezed in there.
Yeah, they ran up on the 80 who was slow from his incident off of turn 4, and they squeezed Cameron into the middle there and all came together kind of.
He has damage on the right and left side of the front of that 12 machine. That's a beautiful paint scheme. Brand new paint scheme for him. Very unfortunate start to the race, but I wouldn't count him out by any means.
Especially not after what we saw in this race a season ago, for him to go on to the win. He had much more damage a lot later in this race and came back to win it still, so long way to go. And there's your race leader, Dalton Kelly, who did clear Jason Gracias off of 4, and he's clear for the lead. And he's led every lap so far tonight, Josh. Of course, under caution now, but pretty strong start for him.
Yeah, he absolutely enjoyed that start there. And able to take the lead. It was a great start out of the 45. He's going to control this race when we go back green. Very interesting to see if someone like Carl Felver or Alonso Chicano can capitalize on that. While we're at it, under caution, let's go ahead and talk about the point situation. You see there, Alexander Kerfan has the lead in points. Cameron Caldwell just involved in that accident, 8 points out. Alonso Chicano, 12. Rookie Michael Krueger, 16 back with his teammate, also another rookie, 16 out. Right now, if the season were to end, or would have ended last week, this would have been the playoffs, but this is only race 2. Take a look at our next 8. Dawson Allen only a couple points out of being part of the chase. Definitely interested in looking at the rookie points here. Michael Krueger, again, tied with Lester there. Noah Mary, 9 points out. Coming up to, I believe we're coming up to the choose cone rule. And we are. Dalton Kelly took the bottom. This track, you'll see, we'll show the graphic, but you see there's 5 lanes there. There's seams all up and down the track. So 5 lanes. Look right there. The bottom 2 lanes and the top 2 lanes are where you want to be at the start and finish line to be able to choose. Otherwise, it is a penalty. You're in that middle. And then go up or down. That will be end of the line penalty. Go to the end of the longest line. So pretty easy tonight. All you got to do is be in the bottom 2 or the top 2 lanes. Cameron Caldwell here. He is going pretty fast. Catch back up to the pack. Caldwell currently scored 25th. See how long it takes him to get back up to the front if he's able to. Meanwhile, up front, these drivers are ready to get back green. Pace truck is in. Dalton Kelly is the control car. He goes. Great jump out of the 45.
Put it right on the apron to try and break the draft behind him. They stay side by side. Alonso shoots from the bottom to the top, all the way up there. He's trying to make it 3 wide, but he's going to lose a lot of momentum off here, off of 2 for now.
Yeah, I kind of question that move there. At least on the start, restart, go up to the top like that. I would think that top on restarts is not where you want to be. You want the momentum to get you going from the bottom. Then maybe
3 wide for the lead. They are putting Dalton Kelly in the center, Jason Gracias and Carl Felver. They're trying to get around him, but neither one of them can do anything down the straightaway here. They're kind of dead even into 1.
Jason Gracias actually is going to be credited with the lead on that lap there. It's Gracias. Still side by side with Carl Felver.
Here comes Brett Bennett. He almost rips the top almost to the outside of Gracias and got the position. He's in this fight here now.
And you see back there, Alonso Chicano looking even higher. Brad Bennett sideways out of 4.
Alton Kelly losing spots like crazy now. Here these two go again side by side for the lead, and you see the top 10 just all congested right here together.
They're trying to be 3-4 wide there for the lead, but Gracias just too far out there to really contend there. But that top line proves that it is the preferred lane now is 15. Carl Felver side by side. Look at Alonso Chicano elevator drop from the top down to the bottom. Gracias goes to block that move. They are 2 by 2, and Chicano, he's looking to get that number 25 grid machine up in the lead.
He could just not keep the front wheels there hooked to the bottom of the ground when Gracias blocked off his line. Kind of ruined his momentum, but he's going to try it again in one. He thought better of it. Slides a little bit towards Brett Bennett through the center of the corner. Carlos Felver struggling on the outside. Gracias might be able to clear the position here. He does. Felver looking to the inside now down the straightaway.
Felver, great move there to get side by side with the 1. And Brett Bennett just behind. Almost getting into, I believe that was 46 of Davey Hendricks. Going to be 3 wide on extra, really tight together. Gracias is the one that prevails out of that. He's going up to challenge with the 25 rather, for that second position.
Felver just kind of yields the position entering the corner, knowing he's going to get the momentum on exit right here to Chicano. Let's see what Gracias can do on the bottom, helping his Vortex teammate here with a push down the back straightaway.
Gracias, he did do a great push to the 25 that tucked in behind the 15 just at the end of the straightaway. Try to get the arc into the corner on entry. 15, I think he might have been a little bit loose there, does Felver. He's able to keep it straight, still side by side with now Alonso Chicano, who leads the field and claims the first lap lead of the race.
Over now looking at bottom, he's going to go to the lead and clear Chicano now, who's going to almost lose it off the exit, trying to slingshot, cross him back over, but almost mistimed. Huge save for Chicano now.
It was a great job out of Chicano to keep that truck straight. Oh, 46 in the 1. Hendricks and Gracias, they're going to get together. So does Noel. Hendricks in the wall. We got a wreck. Still green. Now caution.
Justin Duran looks to be involved in it as well. And Alexander Kurfin, I believe, too.
Noah Mayuri in the back.
Huge crash after contact with Jason Gracias and Davey Hendricks, who it looks like the 46 pushed off of the exit and leads to a colossal disaster down the front straightaway.
Take a look here and see what happens. It started off by them just getting real tight together and making contact. Noah Mayuri, Kerfan, looks like may have been just a little bit in it. Has some right front damage. There's another truck involved.
Flying into the inside, that is Zach Probst, who went sailing through the infield grass there.
And
looks like Brett Bennett also did as well.
Zach Probst did a great job to keep his number 62 truck out of harm's way in that. Justin Rand, I believe, was involved as well. He almost got out of it.
O'Donnell got pretty big contact. The first contact between the 1 and the 46 truck. He took a pretty hard shot there, but he continued on going. He's scored in second place right now.
Right here we have the number 1 of Jason Gracias on pit road, as well as 46 we saw there involved in that accident. That's Davey Hendricks. 47, Brett Bennett is rolling. Got the 20 of Justin Durand. 79 of Dawson Allen is rolling in his beat up short bus long distance Ford. And I believe the only other one on pit road is Kayla McCurry, who unfortunately for him, he was just signed to a new team earlier today. This is not how he wanted to start off his race with his new team. I believe they're going to choose this time, and it looks like it. Saw 15, Carl Felver, choose the outside lane. Alonzo Chicano and Dakota Knoll on the bottom. 45, Dalton Kelly takes the outside lane. So you got teammates on the top, teammates on the bottom. And Brian Haynes takes the top, as well as Lester and a ton of other drivers before finally.
Empty on the bottom there, Josh. Very empty behind the 5 truck.
Very empty. Not even sure who that is behind the 5. Sponsky. Daniel Sponsky, driver of the 51.
Who crosses the line in 14th position, moves all the way up to 5th. He gains 9 spots from the choose cone. Let's
love
see how
it.
this looks. This could be huge for him or disastrous, depending how little traction he has going into turn 1 to restart this stage.
I think that was a great call there out of the 51 camp, but I'm surprised all those drivers that chose the top after the 86 of Brian Haynes. And so
If it works out for him in the right way, he could get stage points. We're coming up on the end of it here, and he is in position.
Yeah, we'll have 11 to go to the stage. Pace truck is in. And Carl Felver, they're wrecking in the back!
Stack up in the back. Huge
Wow.
stack up, and 3 or 4 of them are crashed. That was a very sloppy restart in the back of the pack. They all anticipated a very early start, and it did not happen with Carl Felver leading that field to green, and they mistimed it bad. And 2 or 3 of them got sent around big time.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look, see what happened there.
Unfortunately, it's Jason Gracias again getting collected in a second incident. I can't tell who that is who quite got him.
Dawson Allen.
Melee. Dawson Allen, yeah, caused a melee from that. Just everyone not knowing when to go and just jamming the brakes, and other people not.
So, Adam, obviously we're in the booth. We don't know what's going on out on the track. I want to make the assumption that Dawson Allen, he is teammates with leader Carl Felver, that Carl said, I'm going. Dawson Allen went when his when his teammate Carl Felver said he was going, was not anticipating that stack up, ultimately just took the 1. That's what I assume happened. I don't believe it was anything intentional. But very unfortunate there. I want to take a look back at that one more time just to kind of gather who was all involved in it.
Quite a collection of trucks here with damage.
55, 97, 18, 99. Cameron Caldwell.
Almost. Yeah, he
Great
almost
job.
got it. That truck was wobbling.
Yeah. Great job out of Caldwell to escape out of that mess. Should be the 2 to go mark. 2 to green, I should say. So the choose will be next time by, if my assumptions are correct here. So right now you got Carl Felver as leader. Alonzo Chicano P2, Dalton Kelly P3. Be very interesting to see, you know, okay, we had a big wreck in the back. What's the call going to be like for teammates on the short bus long distance team that are not right up there at the front? And how are they going to play this restart knowing that that last restart may have, you know, had some issues based off what I said?
The Jason Gracias back down pit road. Very unfortunate being involved in back-to-back incidents. And we see that.
I'm sorry, Adam. I was going to say his truck does not look that bad at all.
Well, he's been down pit road quite a few times. They've worked on that machine quite a bit under these cautions. So very fortunate in that regard, but unfortunately he got hooked by a lap truck there that really stacked that up and really caused that all. So, and he wouldn't have been back there if he didn't be involved in that first incident, as we see the choose cone here.
And that time you see a lot more people going down to the bottom. Lester down on the bottom behind Dakota Knoll in the 5.
And because of that stack-up caution, we never really got to see what the 51 truck could do on that restart with all those position gains. Now he's going to stay on the bottom, but he's back a row from where he was last restart.
Right now you have Carl Felver and Alonzo Chicano on your front row. Felver up top, Chicano on the bottom. Dakota Knoll takes the bottom of the second row with Dalton Kelly on that outside lane. Joseph Lester goes from 6th to 5th after Haynes took the the top. So they swapped positions, did Haynes and Lester essentially. That is the top 3 rows as we're about to go back green. Pace truck is going to make its way down to the safety of pit road. You see the teammates on the bottom there ready for this restart. A little bit more stacking up. That bottom's kind of moving around just a little bit. Getting prepared. 15 goes. Carl Felver much cleaner out of the back. Felver with a great jump.
Field got really disorganized about mid-field, so that's going to help him into turn 1, I believe. Hopefully get a clean restart here. As Alonzo Chicano's going to block off Dalton Kelly a little bit going into turn 1. He didn't turn as much as Kelly wanted to, though. They're going to wad these guys up off the corner, stack up 2nd through 5th. Oh, Carl Felver tagged the wall there from the lead.
That was very interesting. I don't really see anything.
He got very close to it if he didn't hit a very interesting position to come close like that.
Look at Lester making some moves. Trying to at least look at the inside of the 45, Dalton Kelly. Lester, he's going to look to be side by side with 25. Not quite there yet, but he did take a position away from the 45. Dalton Kelly uses crossover move to get underneath the 4. Lester's forced to enter high. Kelly takes it. Lester with the crossover that time through 3 and 4, or out of 4. They're going to be side by side. Meanwhile, we got side by side for the lead. Chicano wants it, and he's going to do his best to take it, going into 1.
He's been running a higher line than Felver the last couple laps, but he's going to take it on the bottom here. Why, Lester's going to slide it in there and put his name into this fight for the lead. He's got momentum down the back behind Alonzo.
Side by side, entering 3 for the lead still. Lester looks to the bottom. Chicano goes all the way to the top, as we've been seeing. And Lester's going to close the door. Chicano's not able to pull to the bottom because of Dalton Kelly being there. Now Lester's basically getting a free push from the 25. Side by side for the 4 and the 15. Make that 3 wide for the lead with Chicano entering the middle. Lester's going to clear him. Lester, new leader. Felver looks to the bottom, tries a crossover move. Side by side down the backstretch. Little bobble out of the 15.
Right back to the bottom for the 15. He's going to wash it a little bit high off the exit. Carry that momentum that he needs to get down the straightaway, but block Lester off of turn 4. And Chicano pushed Lester a little bit. He's got the momentum now back to him on the bottom.
And right here, Lester with what we see is the advantage on the bottom, entering the corner. See if Lester can get the slide job to really take the lead. He is far out there. I'm not so sure if Felver may be able to try the crossover right away. He's going to have a run down the back stretch. He does pull down to the bottom. And now still side by side. And these two, they're just going to continue to swap positions like that. Chicano chooses to go down to the bottom. Right behind the 15. Felver, 25 and the 4. They're going to get really close together.
Almost, if not contact, they're through 3 and 4 for Chicano, who slid there. Dalton Kelly takes it to the apron trying to get around Chicano, while Lester switching anywhere to try to get around that 15 truck.
Lester doing a great job battling with them. He just needs to get the momentum and try to block that crossover move, but Carl Felver, he does it very early and very aggressively on the exit of the corners. They're both going to run the bottom here as the 15 Felver and the 4 of Lester. Going back up to the top. Here we go. Taking the last lap for the stage. Who wants it more?
Lester's got a ton of stage points already through the opening 2 races. He's continuing to carry that trend here if he can finish it off here tonight on this lap. But if he wants that stage win, he's got to get around that 15 of Carl Felver here.
Lester running a great line. He's going to be right there, right behind Carl Felver. See if he can try to make a move. He does. He looks down to the inside all the way to the bottom. Felver using that second lane, going to try to pinch the 4. Not be able to get a great exit. I don't think Lester's going to be able to do it. They're going to have a lap truck right there. They're not going to be close enough to lap truck. Felver will win the stage. Lester taking second place, and Bonacasa actually did stack him up a little bit there.
Every moment coming across to finish that stage, but very close call for Carl Felver there. But he holds on to it. He pinched Joseph Lester, like you mentioned, almost upset that 4 truck and could have wiped them both out, but very great driving by both of them to score that stage win for Felver and second place for Lester.
Great job there, Carl Felver. Getting the stage win. Joseph Lester, P2. Alonzo Chicano, P3. Dalton Kelly, P4. Jeremy Richmond, P5. And Brian Haynes, P6.
How about Brian Haynes sneaking up that 6th place point? Good one for him, solid early in this race.
First start for either of the BK Motorsports drivers. Kyle Reuter or Brian Haynes hasn't made a start yet, so good to see Brian Haynes here tonight. Wow! I believe that was Michael Krueger there, almost getting the back of Haynes. Not realizing big check up there, catching the pace truck.
Yeah, it's good to see BK Motorsports, like you mentioned, back in the garage here tonight, racing AutoClub Speedway, 2-time winning team at the end of last season. So, unfortunately, we haven't seen Kyle Rauter back in the saddle here, but we got MountainPC.com owner, so what better way to see him activate his race tonight with being in the show. Running solid right now, as we mentioned. Pit stops, Josh.
And the 15, Carl Felver, going to lead them down pit road here. And this is going to be the first pit stop out of everybody in the top 13. So these drivers have done what they need to do to save some tire sets, despite this being the 4th caution already. Carl Felver in his box cleanly. Right sides go up. And down, and the 51 is already off pit road. That's Sapansky. I believe Daniel Sapansky might have just drove through pit road. Meanwhile, Carl Felver will win the race off pit road with Joseph Lester coming off P2. And yes, I do not see a pit time out of the 51 crew, so I believe he just drove down pit road. So we'll see if he comes down this time, or if he elects to stay out on his 28 lap old tires. They have ran 11 laps under caution, so about 17 green flag laps. We did talk about this track. He does look like he is pitting. We did talk about this track being an older surface track, one that chews up tires. 17 laps. It may not sound like a lot, but that is a lot of wear and tear on your tires. So I think as unfortunate it was for Daniel Sapansky to turn away that lead that he just had gotten from, unfortunately, driving through pit road, I think it's a smart call to bring the 51 down pit road to get service. They did take the 1 to go, 1 to green signal. Carl Felver, Joseph Lester taking the bottom. Dalton Kelly and Brian Haynes taking the top. Michael Krueger took the bottom. Alonzo Chicano with the top. That is the first 3 rows for this restart.
One thing to keep in mind towards the back of the pack is going to be the top 2 in the championship. Alexander Kuffin and Cameron Caldwell, who are racing for the lucky dog once we go green here, if we get another caution. Both are 1 lap down, tail end of the field, so hopefully they get back on the lead lap and score some more points, running in the mid-20s, low 20s right now to start this race here as we begin the second and final stage in tonight's race.
At this point, we're not guaranteed to have another caution, so very interesting to see, if they will be able to get back on the lead lap. Meanwhile, 15, Carl Felver, he gets going. Better restart there out of the second row. But Lester, not the best restart that he could have hoped for. So he's going to be side by side with the 45, Dalton Kelly. Oh, loose is Carl Felver. Felver saves it, but he's going to lose his lead. Dalton Kelly is going to take the lead.
Huge save, but he's going to fall all the way back to last on the lead lap if I had to guess, Josh. Unfortunate for him. Stage 1 winner and very, very good truck early on here tonight.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for him. I have no doubt he'll be able to catch back up. We saw another truck get loose towards the back. I'm not sure who it was. It was the 29, Caleb McCurry, who is still going. Anyway, we keep it up front. Brian Haynes right there on the back of the 45, Dalton Kelly. Side by side behind them with Lester and Krueger teammates. Dalton Kelly doing a great job keeping it ahead of Brian Haynes. Brian is not making those crazy aggressive moves in the corners. I say that, and he starts to look low down the front straight. He's going to get side by side with Kelly. Now Brian Haynes looks all the way to the bottom. Kelly keeping it up top.
Huge run building through 3 and 4, excuse me, Josh, and he had to take it entering turn 1 after following him down that entire front straightaway. Huge momentum, and he's clear to the lead right now, Brian Haynes is.
And now Dalton Kelly looks down to the bottom. He didn't try the crossover move. He just waited until the corner took the bottom. Brian Haynes with the crossover move. They're side by side for the top 4 spots. Brian Haynes rolling that bottom very well, getting out there. Alonzo Chicano's going to be side by side with Kelly. That's not going to help Kelly. But Chicano loses all that momentum down the back stretch. Now Kelly looks to the inside, side by side once again. I think Lester just kind of pinched Chicano down there on the bottom. That's going to make Chicano really lose a lot of momentum. Chicano goes to the top. Now Lester, he's got a whole lot of momentum here. He's going to ride behind the 86, Brian Haynes.
Yeah, Alonso held onto his truck very good there through turn 3 and 4. And he's going to lose that spot to Michael Krueger. At least he's fighting for it through 1 and 2 now. That's the battle for 4th spot as these guys continue to battle up front for the lead, side by side.
45, Dalton Kelly tucks into the top.
Huge dive from Alonso from 4 or 5 car trunk lengths back, and he's going to get underneath the 4. Can't quite hold on to it. He's going to lose it through the center and save it.
Wow, and that was a great job out of the 4 as well, Joseph Lester. Because Lester and Chicano were both sideways there. Lester now with the huge run, so that did not slow him down one bit. And look at where'd Austin's Story come from entering P4 in his 23 machine.
Yeah, that huge catch by Alonso let that 23 truck come through here and tail up a bunch of positions, excuse me. Chicano lost that spot to him and Michael Krueger, while these two continue to swap the lead up front.
They're going to be side by side off the exit of turn 4. I think the advantage here will be the 45. Sorry, the 86 on the top. Right in here with the 45, Dalton Kelly. Still on the bottom. This is going to help Brian Haynes, who had that high lane on entry, get a great exit off 2 down the backstretch. I am surprised Austin Story is already up here. He started P16. And him and Lester are very good friends. They're not on the same team, but they're an affiliate together. I think 23 is going to help that 4.
Single file up front now, but when Brian Haynes went by Dalton Kelly for the lead, they almost swiped each other going through turn 3 and 4. Now they all fan out into the corner. Let's see what happens when they merge off of turn 2. 4 is going to tuck in line behind Brian Haynes and get a push from Dalton Kelly. Michael Krueger left out by himself. Chicano taking advantage of it. He's passing the 23 into turn 3. Look at that. Them all just sail off into the corner, Josh.
This is great racing and a huge run on that outside by the 23. They're going to be 3 wide for 3rd place and put a lap truck in the mix of Leo Bonacasa. They were 4 wide for a second. Still 3 wide. Caution is out. I'm not actually sure what happened. I do not see anybody slow on my reference map, but we will definitely check it out.
Maybe just everyone needs to catch your breath after that. Ooh, that got very hairy passing that lap truck there, like you mentioned.
Don't see anything there. Carl Felver almost got loose there.
Well, it looks like Alexander Coffin was ahead of Cameron Caldwell, so the point leader is going to get the lucky dog, I believe, on this caution flag.
Not exactly sure why we're under the yellow, but as you said, looks like Curfan will be lucky dog. And there was only just Curfan and Caldwell 1 lap down. Leo Bonacosta is 2 laps down. He had just gone 2 laps down as that caution was coming out. So Curfan will be our lucky dog. Who's going to come down? I expect a lot of drivers here as they all fake it. Top 3 stay out, and then they start coming and staying. So, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe that stayed out. One of those trucks you see, I did not count. He's going to be Curfan, who is going to take the lucky dog. So we see about 8 drivers, I believe that is, that stayed out. All the way from Brian Haynes, Joseph Lester, Austin Story, Michael Krueger, Jeremy Richmond, Eddie Morris, Brett Bennett, and Wesley Rose. Everybody else down pit road.
And this is not very surprising considering the timing of this caution. We're really deep into the run that we just started there not too long ago. So split strategies here. Some people thinking the tires are going to be fine. Some people want to hit a fuel window maybe. Or some people trying to minimize the time on pit road total. So very different calls here as we see. So we'll see how these shake up. Not even halfway yet through this race tonight, Josh. Brian Haynes taking the outside lane here for this restart, Josh. Joseph Lester is going to be on the bottom, but the 86, the control truck on the top. Green flag back out, and Brian Haynes takes off over Joseph Lester. Another very disorganized restart past the top 2 rows. Austin Story fighting on the inside. against Eddie Morris for the top 4 positions right now.
Joseph Lester doing a great job staying up there with the 86.
Yeah, he's got clear to the lead, but he's going to keep fighting with Lester right now. Oh, one truck slide hoist through 3 and 4. That looked like Andrew Elias, Josh, but we stay under green.
That was Andrew Elias. He saved it. Kept it going straight at least. Joseph Lester trying to roll that bottom. Lester wanted to look, decided to stay tucked in behind the 86 of Brian Haynes. Now goes to the bottom. Haynes coming down, using the 3rd lane. Lester going up a little bit. Haynes with the advantage from having that outside momentum. Lester staying all the way on the bottom. Now coming up just for his entry into 1.
Story and Jeremy Richmond fighting, for 3rd. They're not letting these two get away, even though they're fighting amongst themselves still. Here comes Krueger for 5th. Huge slide there for Jeremy Richmond off a 2 crossover underneath that 23 truck. They're fighting hard for P3, about half a second back from these top 2. Huge dive into turn 3 from that 98 truck.
And Jeremy Richmond did a great job on that pass of the 23. Austin Story Krueger trying to make some noise up there. Richmond's going to block Story going into turn 1. Richmond all the way down to the bottom. Story in the middle. These guys, you see all these different lanes these guys are running. Richmond now going to be side by side with the 4. He's going to tuck in as he finds a hole. Krueger really loose in front of the 25. Stays straight. Pulls down to the bottom now. Chicano. Krueger side by side.
Lester got a run on the 86 truck going into turn 3, and he used it with a push from Jeremy Richmond. He is edging out that 86 truck at the line. He's going to lead that lap, I believe. Very close between these two, and he's got help from Jeremy Richmond right now behind him.
And if it wasn't for that draft and that help from Jeremy Richmond, I don't think Lester would have been able to stay up there. Now this is going to play all into the favor of Lester as the 98 and the 86 side by side. Haynes, wow, he makes the hole.
Came together there. And he's going to try and shoot back down to the bottom to the lead. Here comes Alonso. Where'd he come from?
I was about to say the same thing. Alonso Chicano just made his way up there, and I think he had gotten... There's a wreck behind.
Trouble. Story is around with Dakota Knoll in the wall. More trucks spinning through the grass in the back.
Take a look and see what happened there. On board in the 45, Dalton Kelly.
Looks like he got help into the side of that 23 truck.
Oh, I think it might have been a little bit of net code there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, Josh. He
that
just
was
kind of bounced off of nothing at the same time.
Oh, and I believe that's the 51 Sapansky, the
back at
62 of Probst as well.
Oh.
Man, I was gonna say, all right, well, only 3 drivers got involved in that, but then we saw other drivers tack in the end. That is so unfortunate.
That's the worst when you think you've got, you've got your damage, you're set, you're getting ready to figure out what you have, and you just get clobbered again, and that potentially takes it done for the night. Very unfortunate for Dalton Kelly. Very strong going for him tonight. Running up in the top 5, I believe that was, when he was involved in this incident here.
A lot of drivers came down pit road that time through. A lot of them also stayed out. So it was the drivers that just came down pit road about 9 laps ago that are down pit road now, except Brett Bennett. He's been out there for quite a while. We are almost halfway in the MartinPC.com 200. There's been plenty of action. This is the 6th caution, Adam.
Very opposite from what we saw in this race a season ago. But we've seen a lot more trucks contend for this lead so far tonight, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many lead changes we have had. It's been quite a lot. And it's just, I mean, these drivers swapping it back and forth. Who gets the crossover through 1 and 2 is going to be different than who gets it through 3 and 4 is what we've seen. This has been a crazy race so far. And, you know, next week you see up there on the ticker at the top left, if you look quick, you see Iowa next week, 7:45 Eastern is when we go live.
Josh, 2
Yeah.
weeks.
2 weeks, rather. Yes, 2 weeks. Thank you for correcting me there,
We
Adam.
don't race next week.
Yeah, there is a bye week. So these drivers, they're going to see their first short track of the season at Iowa Speedway.
Should be a very unique race. Not a lot of action there anymore at Iowa Speedway, of course, especially with these trucks. So it should be a very unique race. Seen that a couple times at the end of last season. Very exciting shows. So very curious to see what we'll put on in 2 weeks' time.
So Adam, I'm seeing. I don't usually talk about the comment section, to the YouTube broadcast, but driver Zach Probst, but I thought I was in the clear, and I mean very unfortunate for Probst because
We did too, Zach. We did too.
Yeah, it looked like he was in the clear. I have to say I probably would have not done anything different myself if I was in Zach's shoes there. So
That was pure definition of victim. The crash was over, and then a stalled truck gets clobbered by someone else. Where to go besides hit that one?
very unfortunate for driver of the 62, Zach Probst, who is out of this race. Pace truck is going to be making its way down pit road once again. And Alonso Chicano will be the control truck. He gets going pretty early here. Carl Felver has made his way back up towards the front. He's on the bumper of his teammate Brett Bennett.
What a restart for Alonso. He is checked out of the field right now.
Great restart for Chicano. And William Martin, their 55 orange truck there, side by side with the 15. Carl Felver having himself a good race so far. This is the halfway mark right here. Alonso Chicano going to lead us halfway. 50 down, 50 to go. MartinPC.com 200. So, Adam, we made it 100 miles so far. Alonso Chicano, he's not had any competition from the 47 since this restart. Being able to stay up ahead of Brett Bennett. And I'm wondering, sometimes what I have, my data, sometimes what I have, it could be off, but I see that Brett Bennett came down pit road 12 laps after the rest of these drivers did, of the likes of Chicano and Felver, William Martin. So I'm very curious here if that is true, and if that is having any effect on how he's not able to catch that 25. But on the other hand, I'm really surprised the drivers right behind him, William Martin, Brett Bennett. Now you see there, Jeremy Richmond. They haven't gone up and past Brett Bennett yet.
Yeah, I believe Bennett is completely on a different strategy. He was a lap down earlier in this race and used a lucky dog position to get back on the lead lap. So a very unique race for him, and we're only halfway through. He's running second, not really running down the leader, as you mentioned, but holding his own right now. Jeremy Richmond up to third. He's been a strong top 5 contender all night. Let's see if he can make quick work of that 47. And maybe contend Alonso the top spot for his first time tonight. Ooh, a slide there off the corner for him, though, as soon as I mentioned that. Now he's being threatened by Michael Krueger now in the 42.
And the 98, Jeremy Richmond, side by side with the 47. Now Richmond is going to be able to clear Bennett. See here what kind of run Bennett may be able to get. But one thing I want to talk about, Adam, if I could, real quick. Just a few minutes ago, we saw Elias Smith. He's up here in P7.
Yeah, it was a miraculous save for him on the flat. He was able to take quick look at that. I mean, get fortunate with that caution coming out as quick as it did from that mistake. And now he's used pit strategy. Here he is in the top 10, running side by side with Brian Haynes. Excuse me.
Great job out of 44, Andrew Elias, who did start 25th, I believe. Let's go back up front. Jeremy Richmond is closing in on race leader Alonso Chicano. You can see those difference in tires. That is 10 laps. But if you're Richmond, you can't really just look now and think you have the lead, because Krueger is there, and Krueger is all over the bumper of the 98.
Yeah, and they almost had a huge moment together through 2. It looked like Richmond slid just a little bit, and Krueger wasn't ready for it, and they almost collided right there, both trying to dive to the inside of Alonso. Chicano did not make it wide enough for both of them to fit there, so Krueger had to back out of it. Very wise decision, as Richmond hunts down that 25 truck down the front straightaway here.
There's 5 laps to go now. That was 46 laps to go when that move happened. If it was 5 laps to go, 4, maybe even the last lap, Krueger would not have been that generous if we're going for a win. And Krueger, for him, those wins don't come as often as it would for the 25 or Richmond. We've seen him up front a couple races so far. Krueger, he would have taken advantage of that opportunity if it was just a couple laps to go. We see here the 98, Jeremy Richmond, does clear Alonso Chicano, though. Now diving to the bottom, not allowing Chicano to get a crossover move. But Chicano going to look to the top, still not able to get side by side with Richmond. As Richmond puts a block on now. 25, Chicano goes all the way up, using that 5th lane. I think that's the highest we have seen him all night. And he's been the only one that's really been all the way out there.
Kind of have to switch around when you get past like that, I believe, and he's looking all over this track. We've seen all these lines utilized differently, so he's switching around trying to find some grip to get back around that 98 truck. Very demotivating when you get past, especially so early in the run like this.
Brian Haynes having himself a good run, currently P5. Working his way around Joseph Lester for that 4th spot. And see him running a different paint scheme tonight from what he ran last season. Again, this is his first race this season, but Martin is happy to announce that it has set up a strategic partnership with leading U.S. distributor for PC components, PCs, gaming peripherals, office equipment, as well as networking and server equipment. Not only does this position Martin to continue to provide superior customer performance PC to our games, sim racers, and content developers, it also allows Martin to provide that same service for small to medium-sized businesses. Brands with their portfolio include Asus, AMD, Intel, HP, Logitech, Lenovo, Kingston, Crucial, T-Force, I believe it's ASRock, Amazon, Cisco, Netgear, and many more. And Martin will also be relaunching the website in the coming weeks with a new buying experience for their performance PCs, as well as details on new product offerings and small business engagement. Are you thinking about a new computer? The time to consider one might be now for a number of factors. Component prices, are coming down from record highs. AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA are set to release new generation components in quarter 3 and 4, 2022. Current generation platforms will still be viable for many years, and Martin sources components from multiple distributors, ensuring the best components at best prices. If you're thinking about buying a PC or really any of the other products that they offer, check out martinpc.com. 40 laps to go. And let's go to one of my favorite segments now, Adam. Let's do a JCTV. Turn it up. .36 laps to go on the MartinPC.com 200. Michael Krueger right here with Jeremy Richmond battling for that top spot. Krueger, Richmond, both rookies in the Pits News Truck Series. Krueger does have more starts than Richmond, as Krueger did race some last season. Richmond, brand new, only I believe his second race so far. Both these drivers have proven that they belong to stay, and they both want those rookie stickers taken off the back of their trucks. Krueger already with one win this season, wanting to prove that he could get it done at track other than Daytona. Looking underneath, Jeremy Richmond really pinching that 42 down. Krueger doing a great job hanging up there with the 98. And the more these guys continue to battle, that's just going to help Joseph Lester, who is currently side-by-side with Alonso Chicano for that third spot. Again, Lester is one of those on the same strategy as Richmond and Krueger.
Well, you talk about rookies, Josh. Half of the top 10 are rookie drivers in the Pits News Truck Series. 6 if you count Brian Haynes with his limited starts, but he's got plenty of experience. And sister league, so I don't think he's considered one. But new and fresh faces up front so far tonight in this race here, AutoClub Speedway. So we see this battle for third heating up with these two continuing to be side by side.
And I absolutely love it. It brings in a lot of new faces, fresh people, and new competition as well. The battle between Chicano and Caldwell last season was amazing. And these guys, they're saying, you know, we exist too. We don't want this to just be the Caldwell Chicano show. We're here. We want to prove that we can win as well. And so far, neither of them have a win. This is only the third race of the season. Chicano right here with the best opportunity, sitting P3. The strategy they're on right now for Chicano, it's going to be interesting to see if if they don't get another yellow and we stay green to the end, how this will play out with 33 coming 32 laps to go. Lester still trying to work on that 25 to take third spot, get up there, battling with the 42 and the 98.
Krueger searching around the top, trying to find any way around that 98 for that lead position. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum through the center. Let's see if he can get it back on the exit down the straightaway here and help with a little bit of the draft.
I honestly like the move that Krueger is doing right now. He's not really going down to the bottom like we have seen. He is rolling the top, and that's going to help the exit of both 2 and 4. May not help his entry by any means, but he's pulling right back up there to Richmond by the end of the straights. Both from the bottom. It's going to help.
Third place, Alonso Chicano just came down pit road there. Dalton Kelly's also on pit road. He's a few laps down now, I believe, at the moment. But Chicano is the first of our leaders to come down pit road here.
Be an interesting strategy to see how it plays out. These guys here for the lead can stay out there a lot longer than what Chicano could have done. We got a bunch of trucks coming down pit road, though. Lester in the 4. Story 2368 of Tyler Watermullen, and 55. That is going to be William Martin and one other driver back there. That's the 97 of Jacob Locklear. So a bunch of drivers coming down pit road with 30 to go. They saw they were all on a different strategy than what Chicano was on. But they saw that him coming down, so they took the move. You see there, 42, Michael Krueger coming in, as well as the 99 of Eddie Morris. Joseph Lester was the first one on out of that big group. First one off. And you see there, Alonso Chicano is a few truck lengths back. It'll be very interesting.
These two was side by side when Chicano peeled off. Excuse me, Josh.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, these two were side by side when Chicano came down pit road. The lap difference between he and Lester. Andrew Elias on hot tires trying to get around them both. Huge slide for Lester there. Chicano's going to fly right by him. No competition between those two.
Jeremy Richmond down pit road now. That's going to hand the lead over to Brian Haynes. So this is different. I was not expecting these drivers to pit so early. 28 laps to go. Let's see here. Richmond still on pit road. Krueger is at the pit start. Krueger is going to be passing Richmond right here. Just a second. You're going to see Richmond there on the apron. So there goes Krueger.
And it's going to be a big deficit for Jeremy Richmond to make up, but he's got a little bit fresher tire to do it with. He's not out of it yet, but he is on the back foot to complete this race, I believe.
This is interesting. So once everything cycles through, the leader will be Michael Krueger. If he's able to stay ahead of the 25, Alonzo Chicano. The 4, Joseph Lester, still right there with them. And Andrew Elias, who came down 11 laps ago, is in contention as well. Meanwhile, the battle between Chicano and Krueger is on. Chicano looks to the inside of Krueger. Entering turn 3, Krueger stays high. Chicano pulls down to the bottom. Krueger now uses the cut in the corner to get all the way down to the bottom. We're going to be side by side down the front stretch. This is going to bring the 4 into the picture.
That was pretty much Krueger's last shot to stay with Alonso, I believe. If he wants to stay in contention with this race the way it's going right now, he needed to force Alonso to get out of the way for a split second like he did right there to keep him out in front. Now they're going to continue to battle, but now Joseph Lester's going to be in the mix potentially, and now he's got another chance to slide job him here off of turn 4 and cross him over. He's going to take it to the inside, side draft there off the exit just a little bit there, Josh.
Yeah, Krueger doing a great job to continue to battle with Chicano, and more they stay side by side, the more and more it's going to bring in Lester. Lester now is going to be right there, right on the back of the 25, coming into the straightaway here. You are riding on board with the 4 of Joseph Lester. Chicano looking to the inside. And Chicano cuts the 42.
That momentum though, continuing down the straightaway just like he's done the last 3 laps, and he's going to continue it here. He's going to run up the track a little bit to close off that air between these two.
Great job out of the 42, making his move. He's going to get in front of Chicano. Lester going to help out his teammate with the draft down the backstretch. Chicano with the lead now. Krueger will have a run down the front stretch. But
Caleb McCurry checked up Chicano just a bit, and contact between the 25 and the 42. Great save. But the 29 held up the 25 just a little bit, and he had to roar out of the gas and brought these 3 all back together again.
So this is a battle for second place right now. Brian Haynes still out there on 32 lap old tires, 22 laps to go. Haynes still has to come down pit road at some point. So this will be the battle for the eventual lead, but currently P2. As Lester gets around teammate Michael Krueger, he's going to set his sights on trying to get around the 25 now and battle Alonzo Chicano for the eventual lead. You see Lester being very patient, making his move as he waited until the entry of turn 1 to pull down to get side by side with the 25. And they are going to be side by side on exit, but give the advantage to the 25. Alonzo Chicano down the back straightaway from using that top lane. I think it's going to come down to, Adam, if Krueger and Lester can work together to try to get around that 25, if they're able to kind of use a little bit of a bump draft, how it's going to play out. See there, all three of them running different, distinct lines. Krueger middle, Lester bottom, and Chicano all the way up top. And then they all get single file down the backstretch. Krueger wanted to make a move, stayed tucked in, right behind his teammate in the 4.
Yeah, I don't know if these two can get around Chicano without helping themselves. They don't appear to be faster outright than Chicano. They all kind of seem to be equal. But if the 42 and the 4 hook up here and tandem down a straightaway like they're doing kind of right here, then they could play in their favor and draft past that 25 truck. But they just need to rally together these last 20 laps and figure out a game plan here.
It's that Alonso does such a great job ripping the wall that you really can't get a run if you're the 4 or the 42.
Yeah, the momentum just off the corner is just so massive and monumental as we've seen that 25 just excel. But if they do what they do right here and get underneath him on corner exit, draft together, work together, side draft him, it could play into the advantage of the 4 and the 42. Here they come down the front straight away.
They're going to be side by side entering turn 1. I think Lester will be able to clear Chicano here, but Chicano may be able to get that crossover move. Chicano's going to look. Lester stays high. Krueger right there behind his teammate. Who's going to prevail here? They're still going to be side by side. Now Chicano just barely ahead. It's going to be close on exit. Chicano is clear of Lester. Lester, still patient, now pulls down to the bottom.
There on the inside, he's got room and he's going to take it to the bottom of Chicano. He won't have enough to slide him, and if he does, it's going to be a huge desperate slider like this. He's going to pull it. Chicano not with a huge advantage, but he's still going to poke out of line, and he's going to go and race this 4 truck door to door into turn 3.
See there, lap truck, Leo Bonacasa getting out of the way, may have upset the line of the 25. That's going to allow Lester to really get side by side with the 25 here. And Krueger going all the way to the top. Chicano blocking that line. That was a late block, but who's going to have the advantage down the back straightaway? It's going to be great job out of Krueger getting to the bottom of the 25.
Wow, all 3 of them almost came together and wrecked Joseph Lester with the advantage, but Chicano had a huge run, had to block Krueger off, and you see the disadvantage for that 42 truck because of that. Now Chicano to the inside of Joseph Lester trying to go back to the lead. Or the second place, excuse me, while Haynes still leads.
They are dead even at the line. Lester up top, Chicano on the bottom.
They keep hogging that top line. They were going to keep looking against that 25 truck, I believe. And look at that momentum down the back. That's what they needed to keep doing right here if they want to fight Alonso Chicano in that Vortex 25.
And now, yeah, Lester has the advantage here. He's not going to have a fight from the 25 of Chicano. Chicano, he's going to have to settle in behind the 4 and the 42, Lester and Krueger. So now, you will have a new first and second place drivers once Brian Haynes comes down pit road. Between these teammates from PBR, Lester in the 4, Krueger 42. Lester continuing to use that bottom line though. And I'm curious to know because Krueger is pulling right there to the 4 on the exit. See there, Chicano running the high line. Is it going to be enough? There's 14 coming to 13 to go once Brian crosses the line. So 14 to go now for these drivers. Chicano's not out of this fight. But how is he going to be able to beat these teammates to get back up in front of the 42 and the 4 for the eventual lead?
Well, as Brian Haynes is on pit road, these three have cycled up front now. He is not out of it. Chicano is not, that is. He can get around them if he keeps running his line and settle in and just click off laps and pretend they're not there. It's going to be very difficult because they're probably going to chop his line off and mess with the draft. But that's just what he needs to do and focus down for these last 26 miles here. While these two are probably going to duke it out for the win and potentially get into it with each other. These are two rookies, one with a win, one with a very strong showing a week ago. He's hungry. We know Joseph Lester is. So, and Michael Krueger, we know he's got to be hungry. We heard his emotion at Daytona for a win. We know he wants another one. And we see Alonso taking advantage of it already, cutting down the lead just a little bit.
I'm absolutely loving this battle between these three drivers. You see Krueger is playing it so smart, working with the 4 of Lester, just using that draft, staying right there at the back of the 4, getting side by side with him. Get right back there now on the draft. They just keep doing this. And the more and more they keep doing this, more and more it's going to hurt that 25's chances get back into the contention for the win.
The way it keeps going like this, if it stays green, I believe it's just going to be between this trio. 4th place, Jeremy Richmond was in a big fight with his new teammate, Eddie Morris. Those JKR Motorsports guys were kind of going at it for a few laps. They're on fresher tires, but now they're 3/4 seconds behind the leaders. So, wow, these three get stacked up. Chicano in the back of the 42 got him loose. Huge stack up to turn 1 for these leaders, Josh.
That was absolutely close and an incredible job by Krueger to keep it straight. Great job out of Chicano to not wreck Krueger. And that just kind of allows Lester to get a good run off of turn 2 to really pull out away from these guys. Now Krueger making the move on the bottom. What is Chicano going to do? Chicano looking to draft with Krueger. 10 laps to go. Krueger looking to the outside. Alonso goes to the inside.
I believe what happened into turn 1 a lap ago is what I predicted. They ran that top lane trying to block it from Chicano, and Chicano didn't expect them to go up there because that's probably the first they've done that in quite a few laps. So they kind of just all went for the same spot, and the energy came together, I believe. While Krueger now diving to the inside of Lester into turn 3. He's got a huge shot going into it. He might slide him here. He's going to pull it off impressively. Huge slide job from Krueger. He doesn't even need to paint it all the way to the wall. He's going to keep it down low and clear Joseph Lester for the lead.
And I am kind of shocked that the 42 Krueger is going to try to get around Lester like that with 10 to go. I mean, obviously, every driver wants to win. I'm not saying he's at fault for making a move there. It's just a simple fact their teammates kind of surprised that he did make that move right then. I would have expected maybe a little bit later in the race, but hey, Krueger saw an opportunity. He took it, cleared for the lead, and that might have been the winning move right there, that move. So great job by Krueger to get ahead of the 4 of Lester. And, you know, maybe they think if Lester is that second truck that they can hold off Chicano a little bit better. Regardless, they're at 8 laps to go here, and they are pulling away from Chicano 2 truck lengths. Going into turn 1, Lester looking at the bottom. Krueger staying in that 4th lane, as well as Chicano. Lester is going to be side by side with the 42. This is not at all what they want to do at this point in the race. With 8 to go, to allow that 25 to get right back up in there to once again contend with the lead. As now Krueger goes to the bottom. Lester stays in that 3rd lane. Chicano goes to the 4th lane. Now Lester pulls down to the bottom. Seven laps to go. in the MartinPC.com 200. That is 14 miles.
I'm
And
just
these-
impressed with these two rookies, tied in points entering tonight. Joseph Lester, 2 top 10s, a top 5 last week at Charlotte. Michael Krueger, obviously, with that win at Daytona. And it's such a strong showing tonight, of course. Putting it up against Chicano like this. Man who won 3 races last year, led the most laps out of anyone. He's led the most laps so far this season, and they are putting it to him. Class of the field tonight, I would say these two are.
They're doing a great job keeping Chicano behind them. I'm still questioning the battle that they have had. I think here 6 laps to go, they may need to work together just a little bit more to stay out front at 25 of Alonso Chicano. As you said, 3-time winner last season, contender for the championship, barely missed out on that title 1 season ago to eventual winner Cameron Caldwell. Chicano knows how to get it done. 5 laps to go. These two are going to be side by side entering turn 1. So, hey, they're not looking at each other as teammates right now. They're looking at each other as competitors. Who wants it more? Lester, still on the bottom. Now sliding up. He's not going to have enough momentum. It's going to be Krueger that's able to clear the 4. Lester tucks in. Truck length back to the 25 with Alonso Chicano.
These guys better watch out too, because they're going to catch the last 2 trucks on the lead lap. Justin Durand and Jacob Locklear, they are side by side just ahead of these two. They have been for the last couple laps as well. They might have just gotten single filed out, but they are racing very hard at the tail end of the lead lap. So it could be contention with lap traffic as well.
And Krueger, he's getting on his radio and saying, hey guys, this is the line I'm running. I expect you to be in the opposite line. They don't have to listen to Krueger. But this battle for the lead here between these 2 drivers, it's going to be a lot more chaotic here just a couple of seconds once they do get to the back of those lap trucks.
They swap lanes. Let's see what Lester can do running that momentum line up top. Krueger lets it wash up top as you see those 2 lap trucks side by side ahead. He's kind of just running that low lane. He is in duty of those trucks now, so different handling on the front of that truck for the lead.
And it's about to be 3 lap trucks with Locklear, Durand, and Bonacasa. It might be 3 wide in front of the leaders when they get to them.
Side by side for the lead. A huge run for Joseph Lester off of turn 2. He is going to put it... Oh, he's going to let Krueger slide like that on the bottom ahead of these lap trucks, narrowly getting ahead of his teammate there.
These lap trucks are not making it easy for these 3 leaders. Krueger keeps the lead. Justin Durand that is, right behind Krueger, forcing Lester to stay on that bottom lane, upsetting.
Using the draft off these trucks like crazy in the lap traffic.
And now Chicano is behind all of this, and he's upset that he's seeing these 2 pull away. Locklear, though, side by side with the 4 of Lester.
Wow, I'm surprised Krueger let the 4 use that top lane. He's not going to use it all the way. Coming back to the white flag. 0.3 of a second separate these 2.
Here we go. White flag is out. Krueger in that money position. Lester where Krueger is, rather. Lester running that 4th lane. Krueger all the way on the bottom.
He's going to keep it all the way in the gas off this corner. Let's see if the advantage is going to pay out for that 4 truck using that top line. We see the 42 try and block that draft into turn 3 for the final time, Josh. Huge swing for that 4 into turn 3.
They're going to be side by side. Lester sends it in hard. They're going to make contact. Krueger all the way to the wall. Krueger keeps it straight. Lester, he's going to bring it home. Lester collects his first in the Pits News Truck Series victory in his 3rd start. Krueger P2 and Alonso Chicano will take it home in 3rd place. Wow!
Wow, Krueger left the door open like we, unsurprisingly, wow. See the fireworks go off. Wow, that's all I have to say. I'm surprised the 42 left the door open and Joseph Lester sent it in there. He made contact with his teammate, but the 42 did not wreck. He didn't even hit the fence. That's how impressive that pass was for that win here in Auto Club.
I'm speechless. I mean, you can look at this two different ways. You can look at it as, you know, they're teammates. You know, and Lester moved a teammate out of the way to win. You see Leo Bonacasa in the 18, one of the teammates with them, celebrating. Krueger out there giving us congratulations to the 4. Here comes Austin Story, another driver there, celebrating with his teammate Joseph Lester, a 14-year-old kid out of Virginia, with the win as, wow, he made contact. Austin Story and Lester, they're all celebrating. Adam, before we get down into interviewing our top 3, let's go ahead and go down through our field. Well, as mentioned, Joseph Lester, he took home the win in the MartinPC.com 200. Michael Krueger, P2. Alonzo Chicano, P3. Jeremy Richmond takes home P4. And Eddie Morris, making his debut, finishes in the 5th position.
Austin Story is going to bring it in 6th. Brian Haynes, in his first start of the season, brings it home 7th. Andrew Elias recovers for an 8th place finish. Stage winner Carl Felver, unfortunately, can only muster home a 9th place finish tonight. And a point leader coming into tonight's race, Alexander Kerfin, recovers from a very struggleful race. He rounds out with a top 10 finish somehow out of all that tonight.
11th place goes to William Martin. 12th, Tyler Watermolen. 13th, Brett Bennett. Cameron Caldwell finishes 14th place. And Jason Gracias will take 15th after winning the pole.
Jacob Locklear finishes 16th in his debut. Justin Durand is 17th. 18th tonight is Caleb McCurry. Leo Bonacasa 19th, and Wesley Rhodes rounds out the top 20 positions.
Dalton Kelly finishes 21st. Dakota Knoll, 22nd. Brian Smith, 23rd. Daniel Sponsky, 24th. Zach Probst, unfortunately, getting collected in an accident that looked like it was over, finishing 25th.
26th is Dawson Allen. 27th is Davey Hendricks in his debut, getting caught up very early, unfortunately. Noah Mayeri, also involved in that accident, 28th tonight. And rounding out the field in 29th is Anthony Mausho.
Let's go ahead and see here. Give us just a couple seconds to gather around our top 3. All right, Adam. I'm sorry, Alonzo. It's Josh here. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, that was an insane battle between you 3. For the win there. You started off the pit sequence there coming in, and then Lester and Krueger came down 1 and 2 laps later. You had a strong fight there, but ultimately you got bested by them. What was the ultimate cause there?
Well, I don't know if I really had the race winning truck. I will would have been happy with like even second place, but just sucks the lap truck got in the way there. Ruined my momentum. I feel like I could have gotten second or maybe first if I would have had a good enough 1 and 2. With the two leaders getting together like that. But sucks when someone who isn't really in contention and just has such a lack of awareness affects your race like that. But we'll take third. Um, could have been a lot worse.
How hard was it to deal with that lap traffic there at the end? Knowing, Lester and Krueger, they are teammates, they were working together, and then, of course, that lap traffic coming into play as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to stay behind him, trying to save tires as much as I could because the truck was getting really, really tight. So I was trying to use the high side to kind of keep up my momentum. And thankfully, I had a teammate in Justin that gave me the top, but then um, not everybody was playing game, so it was frustrating. But I was hoping the two leaders would get to, get together, and they did, but I just wasn't in position to capitalize from it.
Well, is there any sponsors, team shout outs you'd like to give? Who gets it done for you?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Grid Network, Celsius, and the Pits News. I'd like to thank Mardon PC for sponsoring this race. Of course, JCTV, you guys for broadcasting and everyone watching. So thank you guys.
All right, well, great job on the third place finish, and see you in 2 weeks' time at Iowa.
Alrighty, see you guys there.
That was third place finisher Alonzo Chicano. I believe, Adam, you have our second place finisher.
Yeah, Michael, what was that contact like on the last lap between you and your teammate Joseph? What's your view of it, and what do you need there to have something different go your way there on the last lap?
I mean, man, Joseph played that like probably as best as he could there. I mean, he got that run through 1 and 2 to kind of close in on me. I mean, I had a ways away. If he just ran the bottom just like he did the last few laps, I mean, I could have won that thing. But he played it smart there and ran the top and built a big run and went for the dive. And I mean, I'll put a little bit on myself here, but I went down a little bit into the second lane and kind of didn't recognize for the move. I mean, I was just completely surprised they made the move. I thought we were about to wreck ourselves for the win there, but like, yeah, we were just beating and banging off the corner. I mean, I guess what I could have used there, I could have just went a little higher, but just kind of sent it a little low. And well, I mean, it's just hard racing for the win. I mean, no hard feelings at all towards Joseph. I mean, he's my teammate. I mean, we raced great together all night. I mean, I'm no hard feelings at all for how that turned out. I mean, I wish I won that, but still, great racing. I mean, I really enjoyed it though, racing with them. It was fun.
It was fun to watch you all night, and how was it just out there up front the entirety of tonight's race and overall the truck for you tonight?
Oh, it felt awesome just competing up there all night with those guys. I mean, I had a rough qualifying outing, but then I just kind of worked my way up through the field. Like, I just felt real strong about coming into here, coming into Auto Club, and it was just a blast. Like going from the top to the bottom, running different lanes. Like it was awesome. The green flag pit stop threw a bit of a wrench in how things were going, but that was just super cool though. Like how like the field had comers and goers. Like it was real cool just competing with some of the best like Chicano and like Dalton Kelly, Cam Caldwell. It was fun running up there with those guys.
Congrats again on another great run here tonight. Do you have any shout-outs for another top 3 finish here?
Just gotta give a shout out to the guys at Piston Broke Racing and JCTV Racing for just like being my teammates and being behind my back for how I drive. And everything. I mean, I also just want to give a shout out to Joseph Lester for bringing home the first 1-2 finish for Piston Broke Racing, and I'm just really proud for how our team ran tonight and just how competitive we were and everything. I mean, just looking forward to our next race at Iowa, and I'm just really happy to be a part of this team and to be competing with these kind of guys on a week-to-week basis.
All right, congrats again. See you in a couple weeks.
All right, I'll see you later then.
That was Michael Krueger, tonight's second place finisher. I'm down in victory lane though with Joseph Lester. Joseph, great job tonight. You and Krueger did a great job working together to get around the 25 of Alonso Chicano. Was there? I mean, were you guys working together, pulling teammate card, and then afterwards just kind of battling it out, seeing who could take away the win, or what was the plan like after you guys were all there for battling for what would have been the lead?
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely working together, and once we got by Alonso, until about 2 to go, our plan was just to pull away as far as we can, and then the lap traffic really helped me get up there with them, and it's unfortunate what happened in 3 and 4. I sent it in there and just got a little tight and got into them. It was not intentional.
Well, that kind of answers my second question. I was going to ask you, was that kind of a move of, seeing, you moving a teammate out of the way to get the win? Krueger, he did keep it down on the bottom. He gave you room to make that move there, but ultimately, you just bested him there getting to the line. What's the emotions like that you actually are now a winner in the ITPN Truck Series and leading the points, as you are now officially the points leader?
I mean, I didn't know I was the points leader. I kind of figured I was points leader in rookie standings. But yeah, that's incredible, and I mean, just super happy for everybody. I mean, I couldn't have done it. That pit stop, the pit crew got a 12.8 seconds pit stop, and my teammates got like 14-second ones.
So going back to that pit stop, I'm wondering. I was kind of surprised you guys all kind of pit there at the same time. So when Chicano pit, did you see that as the only opportunity at that time that you had to come down in order to win this race?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize he pitted until 3 and 4, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pit just because I knew he was gonna be fast and probably gap. I hit like that pit crew was perfect, and yeah, I mean, incredible job by everybody.
We see you there taking the Polish victory lap. Just one more question for you. Who gets it done out of that four camp?
I mean, JCTV Racing, PBR, Money House Graphics for my paint scheme. Leo and Austin are over there making schemes, $15, and then I mean, just you for bringing me on, and I'm just super excited to be a winner.
Well, congrats on the big win, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Iowa.
Yeah, I didn't even know we had an off week, so that's good to know.
That was race winner Joseph Lester, driver of the number 4. You see him still celebrating. This is live feed, so he is out there still driving the truck, celebrating that win. And that's what this win means to him. He's very excited for it. Now he's leading the points, and this is just going to help his case as to that he belongs to be here, and he's looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, a huge win for him, like you mentioned, and just it's so cool to see him celebrate. He's had such a solid start to the season, like we mentioned before. Fifth place last week, and he really deserved more than that when it came down to that long run. He was making moves like no one expected, and he did it again tonight. Put himself in position, and even he didn't expect caught his teammate off guard. Excuse me, making that move on the last lap. So threat out of nowhere, really, to start the season. Here he is leading the standings.
Well, that does it from Auto Club. 2 weeks' time. Again, next week is a bye week, which again, thank you, Adam, for correcting me earlier, because I probably still would have been saying next week. 2 weeks' time is Iowa. Short track. It's not one that we've seen in a while in real NASCAR. So I'm definitely excited to see that first short track. The short tracks are absolutely one of my favorite things to watch, and definitely looking forward to that one. Well, that does it here from AutoClub Speedway. Once again, thanks to everybody that allows this to happen. The In the Pits News Truck Series, BardPC.com for their sponsoring all the races that they do. Great organization, great company. If you need a PC or anything for your sim rig, look at martinpc.com. Heard earlier that they're rolling out a new website soon, so definitely check them out. Give them support. They do a lot for the In the Pits News Truck Series. In the Pits News for being the entitlement sponsor. C2 Graphics for all the graphics you see on the screen throughout the entirety of the race. The admins, Lonzo Chicano, Cameron Caldwell, for all they do behind the scenes. Adam, big thanks to you for being in the booth with me week in and week out. Absolutely enjoy calling these races with you. And the people watching, the fans. Once again, thank you so much. Stay safe out there, guys. I mean it. I really mean it every week I say this. Stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next time at Iowa.